Okay. Well, welcome everyone. We're finally getting started, and had a little bit of changing of the agenda, so we're putting some things a little ahead of other things so we can get the people who need to leave out of here as quickly as possible. So thank you so much. And this is the City Council meeting of the City Council, the Library Board, the Housing Authority Board, and the City Council representing the Redevelopment Successor Agency. This is our regular meeting, and this is Thursday, March 19th, and it is now 1:18 on the clock, and we want to welcome you all. It's a very exciting day that we're going to be having. A lot of presentations, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of good education on some things going on, and we're just thrilled that you're all here today. So we're going to start first of all with our flag salute, and that will be led by our council member Dana Hobart, actually our Mayor Pro Tem.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all so much. And before we have our roll call, I would just like to have a motion to excuse Council Member Ted Weil in his absence. Can I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your vote. Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on now to a very exciting item on our agenda. This is going to be the introduction of some of our staff members.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Roll call.
Roll call. Okay, what a good idea.
Mayor Pro Tem Hobart,
Here.
Councilmember Kite,
Here.
Councilmember Townsend,
Here.
and Mayor Smotrich.
Here. Okay. So now we're going to move on to our staff recognition. You know, we have such a remarkable staff in the City Hall here and also at our library, and so often people do not know who these people are or the finest things about their personalities. So we're trying to introduce them a little bit at a time and let everyone know that these are the people that play such an important role in making our city work and reaching out to our residents and businesses and making life easier for all of us. So today we are recognizing the first of many City Hall and library staff members who provide frontline support to our internal and external customers. It is my pleasure to bring up to the podium area Marcus Alleman, Robin Bleeker, Susan Brantley, Barbara Scarf, Cindy Stoddard, and Ron Hall. Hello, hello. I'll meet you right down there in just a second. Can you hear me? Is it on? What a great looking group. Hello, hello. Well, rather than going through and introducing everyone right off the bat, I will just give a list of their names, which I have already done. But going forward with just their individual introductions, this is Marcus Alleman. And Marcus joined the finance department in November 2013 and is currently our accounting technician responsible for business licenses, vacation rentals, and a variety of accounting duties. Marcus holds a bachelor's degree and is a substitute teacher and football coach. And he and his wife Pamela celebrated their son Ian's first birthday in February. How very exciting. Okay, the next person is Robin Bleeker. And Robin is one of the most smiling faces you see at our front desk. When you walk in the room in the City Hall, she is there, always smiling, and she's one of the first faces you will see. She provides reception and administrative support and has done so for the last many years. She joined the city in 2004. Robin has always assisted with city events, which include the Art Affair, the Speaker Series, the Cultural Commission, and many more. And she enjoys cooking, and when she has the opportunity, she enjoys spending time with her daughter, Alexa. Welcome. The next person is Susan Brantley. And since 2006, Susan has served as administrative assistant to the city's very active Housing Authority. She continues to advance her skills and has recently completed several courses administered by the Riverside County Fair Housing Council. Prior to joining the city, Susan worked for the United States District Court in Los Angeles for over 7 years. We're proud to have you. Next is Barbara Scarf. And since 2007, Barbara has worked in the Community Development Department, along with planners, technicians, and our city manager. Planning and land use are a great fit for Barbara based on her prior years in the commercial real estate industry. In 2014, Barbara was promoted to coordinator and has provided solid support and organization, especially to the Planning Commission. Her supervisor, Bud Kopp, our planning manager, states that every day I sincerely appreciate Barbara's support, and so do we, Barbara. Next on the list is Cindy Stoddard. The Public Works Department permit processing is a smooth operation thanks to the hard work of Office Assistant Cindy. Since 1996, Cindy has worked in or provided support to major city departments, and in 1999 found her home in Public Works. Cheerful, friendly, and funny are just a few of her great attributes, and this is why she became Employee of the Year in 2002. She is well loved by everyone, and she's great for our residents and customers on a daily basis. And certainly not last or least is Ron Hall. Since 2006, Ron has continued to improve, organize, and provide invaluable support to our records management operations, which are located in the City Clerk's Department. Ron is the city's records management coordinator and our go-to staff member for all public records requests. Prior to joining City Hall, Ron enjoyed 20 years with a career with Northwest Airlines. Thank you all so much. You do wonderful work. We depend on you every day, and it's just a pleasure to be able to introduce you to our audience. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. All right. Take care. Well, next on our agenda is the presentation of our Emergency Preparedness Commission regarding our Race to Be Ready. And the second annual Race to Be Ready event is just around the corner. and will be held this year at the Rancho Mirage Library on Sunday, March 29th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. The race to be ready is a 1K, 5K walk-run, emergency, exposition, and trade show that also includes several lectures. This year, the Emergency Preparedness Town Hall Forum will be held in conjunction with the race event and will feature Dr. Dennis Maletti speaking about what happens after the big earthquake, and Jim McFarland speaking on power failures caused by cyber attacks. And now to provide more details on the event, I would like to introduce the chairwoman of the city's Emergency Preparedness Commission, Marcia Stein. And thank you, Marcia, for coming to the podium and fill us in on all your details.
Thank you, Mayor Smotrich and City Council, for your incredible support for the Emergency Emergency Preparedness Commission. That was the wrong one. We are the largest commission. We have 15 members, and I have to say, our mission is to educate the public about disaster preparedness, and all of you support that, and we thank you so much. You recognize the importance, and so do we. So we are the largest commission. We have a dedicated team working on all aspects of preparedness. Today, we're here to share about our upcoming Race to Be Ready that Mayor Smotrich just mentioned, the expo and the forum. And our race director, Dr. Paul Kopsky, is here, and he's going to share in just a minute a PowerPoint. And then we're going to go on and introduce some students who are also very involved with emergency preparedness. So I'm very excited to do that. But first, Dr. Kopsky will do a PowerPoint.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, staff. I really want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to bring this important concept of preparedness to the entire Coachella Valley. And thank you, Charlie, for really giving us a major opportunity last year to get to the media, which has definitely catapulted us into many more opportunities than we would have had before that opportunity. So thank you, and thank the late Scott Hines as well for making the initial monetary suggestion to the city to invest in this worthwhile venture. So I thank you all, and I look forward to a lot more years of helping and sharing this great experience with you and with the entire Coachella Valley. So at this year's event, we're going to continue to really focus on the fact that earthquakes, are our biggest threat out here, and especially with the San Andreas Fault. So we will be having an earthquake trailer at our event, which mimics only an 8.0 earthquake. So as big as it could happen, you're going to have that opportunity. And the real knowledge behind this is that we're all probably going to survive. And that's the reality. Is with this event, we're really trying to promote that people have the ability to be by themselves for a week or so. So since most people have camped out for a week, that's what we want people to be able to do. Have enough food and water for yourself, your family members, and those four-legged creatures or any other creatures that are your dependents. So we'll have, in conjunction with the quake trailer, we'll have the smoke trailer from the Morongo Indians. And this is an important tool because rarely can anybody really experience what a fire would be like. So we will be able to duplicate that using the nitrogen gas that does mimic smoke but won't be harmful. But we'll be able to educate people how to be able to extricate themselves from a structure fire, and more importantly, how to prevent one. So another key item we'll have, which is really critical for HOAs, communities, big box stores, is this emergency preparedness traveling trailer. And this is really critical because an entire community, in an HOA, which we have almost 100 in our city itself, could be thousands of people. So in an event, the desire is to keep people really in their place. If they don't need to get to a hospital, we want them to be able to have all the resources in their community. And this is what this trailer is going to really give people that opportunity. There are a few communities here in the city that do have a trailer like this, like the Springs in the city, but we really want to see that other HOAs and other communities have this same opportunity. So this will be a really valuable item to have at the event. So we are excited that the Quake company, Race Ready, is going to have it with them, or Ready America, I'm sorry. And another event that we're really going to be highlighting is the race course. It's rare that anybody can shut down Highway 111 other than Amgen with the Tour de California. So I thank you, City, for giving us that opportunity. We will be running along 111 through a beautiful part of the city, looking up at the mountains and over Thunderbird Country Club. And we will definitely have a fast course. I'll let you know right now that we do have the world record holder competing in our race.
Really?
She happens to only be 7 years old. So you're going to have to come and witness how we might help her get another world record. The other part, as has been mentioned, is that we will have the forum, and we are excited that we'll have 2 internationally known speakers coming to help us, again, educate people how to be prepared and what the first 7 days after an event are going to be like, and potentially what might happen if there is a grid failure, as was the case a few years back on the East Coast. We will also have a few lectures that are going to be demonstrations in CPR, first aid, fire extinguisher usage. So this is another part of the event that we're really excited to bring to the community. We'll also have a pet reunification program that has been initiated by this fine city, and this is really exciting that we'll be able to introduce this to the public as well. So I can only say that this is something that has gotten much bigger than any of us ever thought, but we're ready, as the race name is. So as long as we don't have a wind event like we had last year, I think we'll be going from 8 to 3 p.m. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Paul.
And now it's, persuasion on my face. Now I'm just thrilled to introduce, better stand this way, right? The students from Cathedral City High School who've been working on an incredible video. We're so excited because I know kids listen to kids. So if they do a video about preparedness and it's shown in all the high schools, how fabulous is that? And they are amazing. So let's welcome Cathedral City High School, our Miss Peruvian who's been working with them, and their teacher, Mr. France. Please welcome them to the front.
Well, we have another beautiful group up here. What a pleasure it is. And how fortunate we are because they've chosen to make this video a rap video. So what could be more appealing to other students than hearing about safety in the mode of rap music? So we're very thrilled, and as soon as it's finished, we'll be looking forward to putting it on our big screen and showing it on our television and on our Rancho Mirage television. So let me just read out the names real quick, and then Mr. France will give out your certificates. Elisa Alvarez, grade 12. Can you raise your hand when your name is called? Okay, this is Elisa. Georgia Bauer, grade 12 also. Kevin Benitez, grade 11. Jaden DeCastro, grade 10. Marlon Fisher, grade 12. Anna Karen Gonzalez, grade 11. Okay. Kristen McCarthy, grade 12. And Fernanda Orozco, grade 11. And Edwin Vargas, grade 10. So we are very thrilled that you have taken this task very seriously. We know it's going to be wonderful. We want to also thank your instructor, Ray France, Cathedral City Drama Department, in recognition of your commitment to emergency preparedness and helping to educate the public about the importance of drop, cover, and hold on. And this is presented on the 19th day of March, 2015, and it's signed by Randall K. Binder, City Manager, and Iris M. Smotrich, the Mayor. So thank you all again, and thank you so much for joining us here. Okay. Okay. Thank you all again so much for coming and spreading the word about safety and preparedness. We really appreciate it. Now we will move on to our next presentation, which is a proclamation honoring Terry Wilcox. And this will be done by our Mayor Pro Tem, Dana Hobart.
Thank you. Terry, don't be so modest. Come on up here. Just you at the moment. Good to see you, man. He thinks that only champions of the Dinosaur, Nabisco, or whatever its name has been, A&A now, he thinks that only people who have been champions have been in Poppy's Pond. Well, I got news for you, pal. I slipped in there one time. I was backing up because I almost was out of bounds. Yeah, right. Anyway.
I thought you meant to get you a ball.
I've done that many times, but I never fell in doing that. It was the backing up. And I hold you personally responsible. And since I'm a lawyer, I have to tell you that you should be talking to a lawyer about it. Even though it's been about 10 years, I don't think the statute of limitations is run. I'm coming after you, pal. Well, you're going to learn a little bit more about Terry as I read this proclamation from the City Council, Terry, in honor of your many achievements. He's just a magnificent guy, a wonderful friend, and everybody who's been a member at Mission Hills Country Club, including myself, Ted Weil, we've all been friends with Terry for a great number of years. But I'm going to put on glasses just to make sure that I don't read any of those four-letter words wrong. And I know there could have been a couple in here. Yeah, right, exactly. Whereas Terry Wilcox has been a resident of Rancho Mirage for 33 years, and whereas Terry is the former tournament director of Rancho Mirage's signature event, now the LPGA's ANA Inspiration, and ANA stands for Nippon Airlines, okay? That's what I believe too, and we're very happy to have them. And whereas Terry's leadership as the tournament director resulted in growing Rancho Mirage's signature event into a globally televised and internationally renowned LPGA major championship showcasing the city of Rancho Mirage. That's important to us too, by the way, because we get most of our income by way of tourism. Tourists coming to stay in our hotels, we get bed tax and all that sort of thing. So the contributions that Terry has made through the tournament has been very meaningful to Rancho Mirage and a very valuable financial aspect of our city. And whereas Terry was a great friend and golf instructor to the late and beloved Dinah Shore, founder of our Legacy golf event, and whereas Terry led and shaped the legacy of Mission Hills Country Club and the LPGA's longest tenured event, and whereas Terry's nickname, Poppy, used by his beloved grandkids, do we have any of those beloved grandkids here? Why don't we get a bunch of them to come running up here right now? Come here, beloved grandkids. And give you a chance to thank Grandpa and let the city of Rancho Mirage know what a beautiful family. Three missing? How dare they go to school? You kids, you're my kind of kids. They know how to get out of school. This pregnant pauses to allow photographs to be taken. Thank you. Let me start that last one over again. Whereas Terry's nickname, Poppy, used by his beloved grandkids, served as the inspiration for naming one of the most recognized and greatest traditions in golf, the winner's leap into Poppy's Pond. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of Iris Smotrich, Mayor, and on behalf of the entire City Council, we do hereby honor Terry Wilcox. And this is witnessed and properly signed by Ted Weil and Cynthia Scott, which makes it official, because I'd only been semi-official, because I would like to have got better tea times through you. And so you're lucky that it's already signed. Well, Terry, tell us a little bit about your family and your kids, and then we have a surprise guest we want to bring. It may not be a surprise any longer, but
It is.
okay, it is. Tell us who else is here.
Well, I have a lot of my family here. My wife, Shirley, right there. Stand up, Shirley. There you go. Stand up and come down, he says.
Why don't you join us over here, please?
I have two sons, and they're both here. Tony and his wife, Celeste, and Tim and his wife, Jeanette. And we have three granddaughters missing. Jilly, who is, I think, working. That's one of Tim's. Aaron and Brooke are also Tim's. Tony's Tori, who is the one that started the Poppy, I think, is working. Her sister Abby, her sister Matea is not here, and her sister Tara. So we have 6 girls, and then one boy, Aaron. He gets a lot of attention.
Well, Terry, we have, as I said, a surprise guest. Maybe you could identify, I'll give you some clues. 1983 champion, no jumping in the pond. 1988 champion, jumping in the pond for the first time, the first person to jump into the pond or trip in, and then you probably called it a jump and it became a tradition. And then the third time, 1991, with Dinah Shore, jumping into the pond. We'd like to introduce everybody to one of the greatest women golfers of all time, Amy Alcott. Come on up here, Amy. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Amy, you're the one person who could probably tell us some of the things that if his grandchildren weren't here, we would all find more interesting. But what can you say about him, considering the family and everybody is here?
That's a big family, too. That's a proclamation for that alone. It's a pleasure to be here today to honor Terry for his over 15 years of service to the championship and its many name changes along the way. I'm obviously pleased and honored to kind of have invented the jump into the pond. I know that as I carry that with me around the world, and for the last many years, this tradition in women's golf, I really wholeheartedly think every time I've been out there at Mission Hills of the hard work that it goes to put on an event like that. Terry probably turned into a man from Oklahoma into an octopus. You have to be a person with a lot of tentacles and a lot of arms to run a golf event. And his loyalty to this championship and building it and creating it has been immense over the years. And I have a lot of respect for Terry and his faith in making this event as big as it can be and better every year that we participated in it. It's wonderful to see where it's going with a new sponsor, but it's Terry's legacy that will live on with Poppy's Pond and My Jump, and I'm really pleased to be here as a resident of Rancho Mirage and to honor Terry and Shirley and his wonderful children for his hard work and dedication to this first major in women's golf that's going to be in a few weeks. So I'm just glad I could be here to honor him.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you very much, Amy. Obviously, any of you that have played golf or associated with golf know of Amy. She is certainly one of the greatest stars ever on the LPGA Tour, winning our tournament 3 times. And how many other tournaments? 30 other tournaments. Let me tell you, winning one is very difficult. Thank you, Amy.
Amy, just one question. Do you know what a bogey is? Oh, yeah. Oh, you do? Oh, you don't? Good. Well, then, hey, I'm in the right crowd. Triple bogeys all over the place. Amy, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your residency in our great city. Terry, thank you for everything you've done to make the tournament so good, so special. And with ANA now taking over the reins from Kraft Nabisco, we're hoping that the tournament will just continue to grow. And I think they're putting an extra $500,000 into the winners pool. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, Gabe. You're in here somewhere. That's right. So the tournament continues to grow and get worldwide popularity, all of which we owe to you two in a special, considerable amounts. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon. Kids, you got a great grandpa, and Mrs. Wilcox, you got a great husband. I don't have to tell you that. Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much for coming here and honoring Terry. What an honor it is for us to have him in our city and to have Poppy's Pond and to have Amy Alcott come here and celebrate with the family. It's just a pleasure all the way around. So thank you again. We'll see you all at the golf tournament. Okay, next we'll be moving on to another special event, and this is our Citizens on Patrol. It's going to be an update today, and for those of you who are not familiar with our Citizens on Patrol, they are called COPS, and they are a group of incredibly dedicated individuals who give their time and effort and love to our city to help make everyone safer. And today we have something very special. We're going to be having a presentation, and the Rancho Mirage Citizens on Patrol is here to give us an update on their activities. So I would like to ask Captain Terry Goodale to come up to the podium to make the presentation.
Not the same Terry that just stepped down. We are both from Oklahoma, but I'm not a golfer. But what I'd like to do is kind of give everybody an update on our progress of the last year. And we had yet last year in 2014, we had 2,050 patrol hours, 23,600 miles driven. We had 8,800 total volunteer hours for all of our citizens. 18 traffic accidents, 13 stalled vehicles, 34 graffiti reports, 23 obscured signs, and 90 miscellaneous incident reports. That sounds probably good, but the best thing is I don't have an exact report of, but I've done a kind of a quick math thing. And over the last 20 years that the Citizens Patrol has been in business, we've logged over 500,000 miles and approximately 40,000 patrol hours that went along with that. And out of that time and those mileage, one accident that our patrol cops had. I think that's incredible, because the places that we drive into, that all of these patrols people drive into, parking areas in your shopping centers, and it's like loaded time bombs in there. People backing out, and I don't think we're that fast, but we must be faster than I think we are, because we do get out of the way. And like I said, with that being said, I would like to acknowledge all of these folks, because they've done a great job, I think. They've backed me, made me look better, which is a real tough job to do. And I think that would be pretty much it.
And needless to say, they make us look better too.
Pardon me?
They keep us out of trouble and they make all of us look better also.
Well, I agree. We do try to do a good job.
Well, you're doing great work. And so I now understand that we have a special recognition for one of the COPS members. So I would like to ask that Cal Custer approach the podium while I make my way down there. And maybe he can come up and say a few words also.
I told you to be here.
Well, hello there. Okay, maybe we can all turn around here and face the audience, because I have something a little special here to present to you. And this is a plaque for your 20 years of service to the COPS. Not only is Cal on the COPS, but he also serves on the city's Traffic Safety Commission and for over a decade, and is an original member that commissions too. And we have he's certainly a tough act to follow. So we're very proud of you, and we're honored that you are a part of our city. And this is your plaque, and it says, Award of Recognition presented to Cal Custer for 20 years of service to Citizens on Patrol Services in recognition and appreciation for the outstanding and dedicated years of service to Citizens on Patrol Services since 1994. Presented this 19th day of March 2015, Iris M. Smotrich, Mayor. Thank you so much, and we'll give it to you. And maybe we can have a picture taken. Okay. Maybe you'll say a few words at our microphone and just tell us what your future plans are. Thank you. And
I try to stay busy, and staying busy with COPS is a selection you can put in a lot of time, or
use that microphone as much as you can.
okay. I said I like to stay busy, and I stay busy with COPS. I've reduced some of my patrolling time. You know, when we first got started 20-some years ago, it was coming out at 5 o'clock because that's the only time we could get the city vehicles, and we used their pickup trucks. We had magnetic signs, which we kept in the office here, and we put them on the vehicle, and they said cops of Rancho Mirage. And at the same time, we had to have a dispatcher, which was located here in the City Hall, and that person and the patrol responded to each other every half hour so that we knew where everybody was, because we had maybe more than one patrol out at a time. We went out at 5 o'clock in the evening, and we could go to 10, 11 o'clock if we wanted to. Most fellows found out that 4 hours was an adequate amount of time to be out. We did checks on city businesses at that time, and if we found a business that was open and the doors were closed and the lights were off, we called, we had a list of the owners and telephone number to call whoever was in charge to have that taken care of. So it was very interesting in the early part of the years. The trucks weren't necessarily clean. You know, they were used by the city workers, who at that time did a lot more, excuse me, digging in the dirt than than they seem to do today. So that's some of the background of the way the cops worked at that time. We had about 8 to 12 fellas, mostly fellas at that time, and then we got a few ladies in who had a real good background. Some of them were in law enforcement from Canada even, and here in the States, and some of the fellows even had backgrounds with some civil police work somewhere in the area. So anyhow, that's some background of the cops organization. Even Terry doesn't know all about that.
I wanted to also say one other thing about Cal. Cal is still active with our organization, which is obviously the oldest active member that we have. And I had an incident I just wanted to share with you that here a few weeks back, got a call from the library that they needed one of our officers there at the library. And we got the call, and I said, well, how soon do we need it? I said, probably within 15 minutes. So I called Cal. I said, Cal, what are you doing in the next 15 minutes? You probably remember.
Well, sure.
And Cal showed up, what I thought was outstanding. I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but I look up to Cal.
Okay.
Cal, I want to thank you for all the help that you've given me throughout my term as captain. Whenever I needed some old-time news, this man has got it. He knows where everything is. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Cal, and I want to thank you for taking good care of Palmdale Road.
Yeah, it seems that we're neighbors, and I used to see Dana every now and then with his dog going up the street. And that's nice to know that he's still looking around to see what's going on. And, you know, through the years, I look around and I don't see too many people that started out with the cops back in '94. So and I must say that I truly believe that the council and the leadership we have in Rancho Mirage at the present time is unequaled ever in this community, and is one of the most fantastic groups to run a community as well as they do, and I thank them.
Thank you. And we thank you. We thank you, and we certainly look up to you too. And while you're here, why don't we have such a nice group of people representing the cops? Maybe you could introduce them, and they could stand up and turn around and wave.
Okay, I would like to do that. I've got all of my officers, like the lieutenants, please, if you would, lieutenants, please stand. Got Ron Shipper is our lieutenant of equipment. We've got our quartermaster. He and his wife both take care of all of our uniforms, the Rogerses. We've got Jack Schleger. He's my adjutant. Thank God I've got him next to me because I would really be in trouble. And Ed Bradley, he's our patrol lieutenant. And he's got a tough job trying to, when we have to schedule patrols each meeting, it gets pretty hectic up there. I'm glad he's there and not me. And then we have also, I think we have some sergeants here. Sergeants of Administration. Bill Sachs he's fairly new recruit here with us, but I tell you what, he's got years of experience in his past history that has just helped us incredibly. Without him, I would be totally lost. All the other members here, I've got to tell you, you probably know that and that's pretty much it. Everybody stand up if you would, please, so we know. So we've got a pretty good group. I think we've only got about maybe a fourth of them here. The rest of them are out working.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is a fine group of people that have supported me for the last 2 years. Without them, I would be totally lost, totally.
How big a group is that? How big a group altogether?
We have approximately 30 right now.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It varies. But we have some leave, some come in, and we pretty much try to maintain that. We have 3 vehicles, and there's many times all 3 vehicles are out. And we are getting a new vehicle in, I understand, and through Bill Oppenheim, which is keeps telling us we're just waiting to see it. We're excited. So we want to see those lights flashing. But and it's not that we don't need it, because 2 of the vehicle SUVs we've got, I'm not sure what the mileage is. Ron, you may know.
165,000 on one.
And the other is.
110.
So we're squeezing all the mileage out of them as we can. So it's been good to us, and we want to thank you folks for allowing us to have that. Thank you very much. I'd like to make another announcement that I'm going to be stepping down as captain this year, and because there's a lot of probably better qualified people up there. And again, all these volunteers here, as you know, when we have people like the President of the United States comes through, he has to have, his motorcade has to have the streets blocked off and for his visit here with us in the valley, in the city of Rancho Mirage, actually. Mm-hmm. And a lot of you may not know, but when we make a schedule with the Sheriff's Department, we do a briefing with them. They instruct us on where and how they want us to position ourselves for these streets for the motorcades to pass through. What you don't know is the fact that the sheriff doesn't know until the last minute, maybe 2 hours prior to the motorcade, there's been a change. So now I've got like 6 people, or 8 people, or 12 people that are all scheduled to be at a certain point at a certain time. They know where they're going, know what they're to do, and I've got to make phone calls, say, there's been a slight change. Can you be there 2 hours earlier? Not one time has it ever happened that every one of them changed their plans and were right there. And I really appreciate that. That is really nice.
and we certainly appreciate it too. And we're very sorry that you are going to be stepping down, and
Well-
we hope that you're going to be moving on. Well, we hope you'll be staying as a member of the
Oh,
COPS.
Yes, I'm staying on. I just want to sit back and I want to watch the progress take place, in which I'm no doubt in my mind it will, because there's a fine group of folks there. I want to thank also the Sheriff's Department for allowing us to work with them and them with us as well. Cody Mix, if you would, Cody, please stand. I had to beg her to show up here. She was not going to show up today, but Cody has been awesome, absolutely awesome. We have new people comes in. She processes these people for us before we start our training program with them, and she is right on top of it. Where she finds the time to do it, I don't know, but I don't care. It works for us. So thank you, Cody. And also our liaison officer, which is not here today. He's probably out working with the CERTs or somewhere. He's always got something going. Britt Wilson. Britt has given us so much help. Anytime we need anything, he steps right up the plate and says, "What can I do to help?" And he's been awesome. And I wish he was here to thank him personally, but I guess he's got other commitments today. And I'd like to also thank Mayor Smotrich, Pro Tem Mayor Hobart, City Council members, staff. Without you guys' support for us, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And so I thank you very much for that. A couple other people I'd like to recognize, that's code enforcement, Sandy. Sandy comes and gives talks at our meetings, which is a big help. We have Public Works out at the yard where we have our meetings now. And Bill Oppenheim is always there to help us, anything we need with the vehicles. We have a little glitch with it. He's right on top of it. Get it over, get it fixed, get it back so we don't lose any downtime patrolling. Our animal control, even to the receptionist, the front desk. I mean, everybody in this city is they've just bent over backwards to help us, and it's really, really a good feeling, and I just love working with the city. I do have one last person that I would like to recognize, and that would be my wife. And if you would come up here. She's also my best friend. I've got to tell you, 6 years ago, she was sitting at home doing almost nothing. Just taking care of the house, the kids, and everything else.
Oh, that's nothing.
And we needed help me.
Minutes.
Minutes. I want to do the minutes. I can't even pronounce the word, let alone do it. But we needed someone to do it, and the captain at that time had tried everybody he could find, couldn't find anybody. I said, I know someone that might be interested to help us out. So I asked her if she would help us out maybe for 2 or 3 meetings till we could find someone. She said, yeah, I'll work for 2 or 3 meetings. That was 6 years ago. She's still doing it. And not only that, but she helps with the refreshments, because our refreshment lady has got problems with her husband. She can't do it. And when we get through at the meetings, she cleans up the refreshments. She cleans the tables, cleans the whole place up. But the good news is she gets to go home and start all over.
Okay.
So I want to thank her. Thank you very much.
Well, needless to say, we would be very lost without you also. And I mean, obviously this little part-time job turned out to be a great thing for your whole group, and we're fortunate that she was able to continue. So thank you all again. Okay. All right. Now we have another presentation, and this is going to be the introduction of our Trails Commission done by our staff liaison, Greg Truesdale.
Big commission.
Yes. Right. Okay, well, I'm glad that you could make it today. The Trails Commission advises the City Council on the development of a balanced system of trails to meet the active and passive recreation needs of current and future residents and visitors. They typically meet the first Wednesday of each month at City Hall, and we are delighted that we can have them introduced here and get a little bit of recognition for jobs well done.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yes, it is a 5-member group. Before I introduce them, I just wanted to give a little history on the Trails Commission. In '96, there were 15 members. It was a committee. In '92, it was a 10-member committee. In '95, the council changed it to a commission, as is present. And at that time, they actually represented a portion of the city. It was actually in a district type configuration. Back in '98, went to, again, 5 members, and then the council actually nominates each member, and then the council actually votes on that nomination. So the members I have here today, I have, turn this over, Carol Hofsprung. She's vice chair. She's been a resident for 24 years, lives in Mag Falls Cove, where she's been a board member for 20 years. She's been very helpful to, I work in the planning department, she's been very helpful to us because she's reviewed a lot of house plans for us, done solar review, signed off on wall permits, and so I did want to thank her for that, although that's a secondary duty. She's a local yoga teacher, keeps limber by being a LPGA golf instructor, which permits her to travel throughout the United States for the LPGA golf clinics for women. These are one-day clinics for women. Give them the opportunity and skills to participate with business partners and associates. For 10 years, she's taught golf clinics for the clients, the American Airlines celebrity golf and tennis events in Carlsbad. She's an avid hiker in California and Colorado, and she did a 21-mile hike in the Grand Canyon in 2013 that she's very proud of. She's also works for locally for Windermere Real Estate. Again, she's been on the commission 3 years, and she is our vice chair. And Dennis, Dennis has been a city resident for 17 years and has been a commissioner for 3. Received a college degree with additional graduate work at the University of Chicago. Dennis's career has been spent as an independent political writer and researcher in Illinois. Dennis has had articles and book reviews published on various topics such as the Federal Reserve System, Iran-Gate, an extensive article on the events leading up to the attack of Pearl Harbor, and many articles on political corruption in the Illinois State Legislature. Regarding political writing, is still active, although basically retired. He enjoys keeping up with his Illinois writing colleagues. His hobbies include computers, photography, and local politics. Dennis and Connie Lebo live in the Mag Falls Cove, where he shares a house with 2 dogs and 5 computers. So those are 2 of the 5, and then I'll back it up. I'll go ahead and summarize. Jeffrey Morgan is our chair. He's been a member for 10 years. He was born in England during the Second World War, received his education in England in aerospace engineering. In the 1970s, he went to Australia to be in the mining industry. In 1974, moved to Orange County, California to be in the aerospace industry. Relocated to Riverside in '75, lived in Idlewild, then in Palm Springs, And for the past 25 years, he's operated Morgan Appraisal Services, residential real estate appraisal business. He's an avid hiker, and he's been a resident since 2003. Another member we have is Eric Wright, who's a new member. Been a resident of Rancho Mirage since 2003. Professionally, he's a business writer and editor. Currently telecommunicates for the McGraw-Hill Financial, where he's held various editorial management positions since 2000. Prior to that, he served as a managing editor and headed up an equity research at Babson United in Boston, Massachusetts. Holds his degrees from Drew University and London School of Economics. Privately, he's an artist and an avid hiker, and he looks forward to expanding the city's trail system, and he joined the commission last year. Our last member is Columba Quintera. She's lived in Rancho Mirage for the past 15 years, has a BA in linguistics from UC Santa Barbara, and has additional legal education in California. She's employed by, actually she's employed as a tribal grants administrator and with a focus on nation building. She's also an ordained chaplain and fluent in a few languages, and has been on the commission since 2011. And so I'd like to thank the two that are here, plus the three that are absent. I appreciate their work, as well as Barbara Scarf is in our planning department, and she does the minutes, agendas, and helps me get everything organized. So I appreciate her help as well. So thank you very much. Oh, here we go.
Well, thank you all. It's a pleasure having you here, and it's wonderful that you take such good care of our trails. So thank you again. Okay, now we have something very special again, and this is something that's going to be presented and introduced by our Mayor Pro Tem, Dana Hobart.
Thank you, Mayor Smotrich. How many of you have a teacup in your hand? Only one. That person's got two teacups. I'd like you to meet Selena Rowan, and you're going to meet Coco and Rudy, and so am I.
Is that something?
It's been a long afternoon. Congratulations on your stamina and ability to stay here. It shows you how dedicated people are when they're working with dogs who need permanent homes. These are rescue animals. And tell us, Selena, by the way, is with Loving All Animals. And if the two E's in her name were O, she would be called Saluna. Uh-huh. That really went over good. Okay, so much for saloons. Now, Selena, tell us a little bit about these two beautiful pups, Poochies.
So they came to us when their human mommy passed away, and unfortunately did not make provisions in their will for their care. And so her children didn't want them, and they were going to go to the shelter. Luckily, she had a beautiful granddaughter that realized if they went to the shelter, because they're a little bit older, they probably, unfortunately, would have been put down. So she called us and asked if we would take a look at them and bring them in. So we have Coco right here. She's an 8-year-old breast cancer survivor. Hence, I have a little pink in my hair today to kind of celebrate her. And then we have Rudy, her brother. He's 12 years old. And so they're just loves. They love to be together. I put them down in my office, and they both go into the same bed and just cuddle all day. They're just looking for their next forever home, or their final forever home, I should say. And so they're available through Loving All Animals.
You know, a lot of people say the reason they don't have a dog is because, well, we don't have the room for it, and you know, we can't really take care of a dog that needs a lot of exercise and all that. Or my age, I'm getting older, so I don't want to take on that responsibility. I may not outlive the dog, et cetera, et cetera. Well, these two pups fill a void that somebody who is hopefully in our audience today, or somebody who's watching this on television, can see that these dogs would fit perfectly into their lives. And they can be rescued. If it's a Rancho Mirage resident, I point out that we pay up to $200 toward the adoption of each, and that includes any chipping that might be needed, neutering, spaying, whatever. Plus, we are now offering a new enticement to the people of Rancho Mirage to adopt homeless animals from the shelters. And that is, we are preparing an ID card in case of a serious emergency where dogs get separated from their families. And we are soon going to be giving free tags, not dog tags, you get those from the county, but tags where you can have your name and the dog's name and phone number, dog's phone number, your name. I don't know why I keep trying. I don't know why I keep trying this. I haven't had a laugh yet, but what the heck. You got to be able to, if you're going to be a stand-up comedian, you got to be able to take a few boos. At any rate, you don't get a boo. You get two beautiful dogs, obviously have got to go together, but they're not much effort. They're certainly not expensive to maintain. And with Loving All Animals so close to help us in the event there is some problem, they're always here to help. So thank you, Selena, for bringing us Rudy and Coco. And they are just, notice how Coco is a little kisser. I like that. Yeah. So thank you very much, and we hope you get a phone call. What phone number should people call?
It is 760-834-7000.
834-7000. Thank you very much, Selena, and thank you for waiting.
What a beautiful and touching experience, just having them down here in front of us. We wish you all the best, and we wish them all the best. Okay, now we are going to be moving on to the non-agenda public comments. And this is an opportunity for the public to speak on issues that are not on the agenda for a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. And we do have a few yellow cards down here. And if you haven't had a chance to fill one out and do want to say a few words, you're welcome to come down when the speakers that are finished leave the podium, and then you can come forward and tell us your thoughts. The first one is Owen McIntosh from Rancho Mirage High School. And let's go Rattlers! Let's go Rattlers! All right, let's go Rattlers. Hello. This is from our tennis team. Yes. Well, welcome.
Our star team.
Our star team.
Your Honor and fellow council members, this is the representative for the boys and girls team at Rancho Mirage High School. The number 1 and number 2 players for the boys and girls. I've got Francisco Cuevas, Tatiana Harvey, whom you've met before, Amrit Bajaj, and Alondra Ponce. And just real briefly, wanted to come and personally thank you for the donation for our school's covered seating. When we originally had written you the letter and requested that you perhaps help us, we certainly had no expectation, and certainly not to the extent that you did help us. And I just want you to know that we feel that was well above and beyond, and we are very appreciative. And Alondra has asked to just say a couple of words.
Hi, my name is Alondra Ponce, and on behalf of the Rancho Mirage High School boys and girls tennis team, I'd like to thank you all for the generous donation for our shelter that we'll be having now, so we don't have to play in 100+ degree weather, which is great. And it's really going to help us excel in what we love to do, which is play tennis. That's about it. Alrighty. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
By the way, Coach, do you have to be probably one of the best-looking guys or best-looking girls in the school in order to be a tennis star? Is that like a condition precedent?
It just happens to work out that way. You also don't have to be the brightest of the bright, but in fact, our tennis team is way above all of the other teams at the school in cumulative GPA. The girls were at about a 3.86 cumulatively. I don't have the results on the boys yet, but I understand that it's above 3.6. So these kids are not only great athletes and getting better all the time thanks to your help, but they are also outstanding student athletes. And again, we thank you very much for your donation. It will be very much appreciated in the coming months. We haven't put them up yet. We've almost met our goal to put all 4 of them up, and as soon as we do, we'll come back, give you pictures, and show you what your generous contribution has done. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Owen. Go Rattlers.
Yay.
Yay. Yay. Oh, what a memorable moment. Thank you for coming and telling us all about what's happening in your neck of the woods. Okay, next moving on to Matthew Miali. And I don't know if this person's still here or not, but I guess they have departed. Okay, if they come back, we'll just be sure to bring them up. The next speaker is Brad Anderson. I don't know if Brad is still here either. Okay. If he comes back, we'll call him up. The next person is Alan Worthy, also missing. So we have a very short public comment segment here, so we will close the public comments and move on to the next item on our agenda, and that is City Council comments. Anyone on the council have a few words? Charlie?
Nothing.
No. All set?
Madam Mayor, just a brief comment.
Okay.
Our last meeting a couple of weeks ago, we talked a little bit about the Cultural Commission and the trip that they were going to have to the Salton Sea. I want you to know that the mayor and I accompanied about 50 other residents this past weekend, and we had a great trip to the sea and back. It was a little warm down there, and we got to see all of the sea and a lot more. And we're going to have a brief photo presentation probably at our next meeting, so you'll all see what we encountered. And it was really a special trip put together for photography, and some of the pictures that came out were really great. So in addition to that trip, I just want to remind you all that on April 1st, which is Wednesday in a couple of weeks, we're going to have another cultural event, and it's going to be called Play Ball. And this will be celebrating the opening of the 2015 Major League Baseball season. We're going to have music, we're going to have video snippets, we're going to have original short comedic sketches, interviews, and a lot more. And we're going to have Bill Marks there, Frank Farino, Scott Kiner, and David Bryant. To make it feel more like baseball season and all the things that go along with it, we're going to have a food truck, and they'll have themed treats there, hot dogs for everybody, and popcorn is going to be served, so it's going to be a great event. The mayor will be there also, I understand, to throw out the first ball, so she'll get the program going, and the celebration is really one of our national pastime with a lot of great moments in baseball history. Admission is free and open to the public, but seating certainly will be limited. And with those individuals that are participating, I'm sure it will be a sellout. So again, that's Wednesday, April 1st at 1 p.m. at the library. If you want more information, contact the Rancho Mirage Public Library, and they'll give you more details. So I look forward to that first pitch, Mayor.
Well, me too. I'll try not to embarrass anyone. Okay. No more public comments, no more council comments. So we're going to move on to the minutes. And so if there are no additions or corrections to the minutes.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second for the March 10th, 2015 regular meeting minutes. Please cast your vote.
Should I vote yes or no?
Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Thank you. And now we will move on to our consent calendar, and our city manager, Randy Binder, will cover that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. It's a short consent calendar today. Item number 1 on consent is the compilation of the annual reports that are submitted by your various boards and commissions. You have 10 boards and commissions in your agenda item number 1 today. They represent the city, the Housing Authority, and our library. Our board and commissioners provide valuable feedback to both staff and the City Council on a variety of specific issues. Mayor Smotrich has made a concerted effort during her mayorship to recognize each and every member of your boards and commissions. So thank you very much for doing that. The annual appreciation luncheon is coming up in April, and the council will consider new and reappointments to the commissions and boards in May. So the request today on the agenda is that you receive and file these annual reports. Item number 2 on your consent calendar are approval of the contracts. And item number 3 are demands. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Move approval of the consent calendar.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to the public hearing portion of our meeting, and we will start with item number 5. Strike that. Number 4. This will be handled by Bud Kopp. And Bud, I believe you've come up to the dais, so why don't you take over?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good afternoon, council members. And for your consideration this afternoon is the Frank Sinatra Bridge Environmental Assessment and Mitigated Negative Declaration to satisfy the requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act. As you may recall, about 18 months ago, the City Council awarded a professional services contract to URS to move forward with Phase 1 of the Frank Sinatra Drive Bridge project. The new bridge would replace the existing low water crossing. Phase 1 funding was approved by the City Council in July 2012 and consists of Highway Bridge Program funds, CVAG Regional Measure A funds, and city funds. The total project cost of Phase 1 is $1.3 million and will be reimbursed through federal funds with the exception of approximately $150,000 being shared between CVAG and the city. The city's portion of Phase 1 is approximately $37,500. The purpose of the proposed project is to improve traffic circulation and emergency access during flood events. The project would eliminate the low water crossing and construct a new bridge in its place on Frank Sinatra where it crosses the Whitewater Wash. Phase 1 focused on the development of project alternatives, including preparation of technical studies, a bridge-type selection report, project report equivalent, and the required environmental documents. These documents are also being used to develop engineering cost estimates and preliminary bridge designs. Caltrans serves as the lead agency for the NEPA documents because the project is primarily funded with federal highway bridge program funds. The city functions as lead agency for review and approval of the CEQA documents, which are the subject of this report. Last May, as you may recall, the City Council held a study session to review preliminary project designs, review a project report on the environmental documents, a progress report on the environmental documents, and to receive additional public comments on the project. No additional environmental concerns were raised at that time. The proposed bridge would cross the Whitewater Wash with the total project limits being approximately 2,000 feet long. The new hardscape with roadway and bridge improvements would start approximately 450 feet east of Duval and end 550 feet west of the levee towards Highway 111. In this slide, the proposed bridge is superimposed on the aerial photo showing the horizontal alignment. The proposed bridge span would be approximately 1,000 feet long between the existing concrete-lined flood control levees on the east and west banks of the channel. The new bridge structure, as shown in the cross-sections and profile, bridge would be 88 feet wide, consisting of 64-foot wide roadway that consists of two 12-foot wide lanes in each direction, separated by a 16-foot wide painted median. 8-foot shoulders are also provided in each direction, and an 8-foot sidewalk is located on the north side of the bridge, as shown in the modified cost-saving alternative depicted at the top right corner of your screen. The vertical alignment of the proposed bridge would be approximately 29 feet higher than the existing low water crossing right now at the midpoint of the span. The bridge structure would either be precast concrete girder or cast-in-place concrete box girder supported on multiple columns. The bridge would also incorporate existing underground utilities inside the bridge structure and relocate them outside the wash. New right-of-way, including both temporary construction easements and permanent easements, would be potentially located on the parcels located on both sides of Frank Sinatra to the east and west of the Whitewater River. The project was determined to be eligible for a NEPA categorical exclusion and received Caltrans concurrence in July 2013. All technical studies have received Caltrans concurrence to date, with the exception of the noise study. In regard to the noise study, Caltrans requested some additional supporting data files, and Caltrans concurrence is expected upon review of the data. The analysis and conclusions of the noise study identified that the project will not approach or exceed adopted noise thresholds, so mitigation measures are not required for noise. These photo simulations on the screen show the proposed bridge looking westbound towards Highway 111 and were done as part of the preliminary design work. Public Works has also worked closely with the nearest property owners in Los Cocos, and the adjacent landscape wall will be increased in height as part of the project design. The two slides at the top of your screen show the intersection of Duval looking westward towards City Hall, and the bottom left photo shows the existing low water crossing, with the photo to the right showing preliminary design of the bridge and the span of the bridge looking eastbound towards Duval. The initial study concluded that all project-related impacts can be mitigated to a less than significant level, and city staff concurs that a mitigated negative declaration is the appropriate CEQA document for this project. The environmental documents were posted with the county clerk, sent to State Clearinghouse, and made available for public review between February 13th and March 16th of this year. Only one comment has been received during the public review period, and that was from the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians. They requested that their Tribal Historic Preservation Office be contacted to arrange for cultural monitoring prior to any ground disturbing activities. This has been included as a mitigation measure in your CEQA document. And so in conclusion, based on the technical studies and the CEQA analysis, staff recommends that the Frank Sinatra Bridge project will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment, and staff recommends adoption of the CEQA mitigated negative declaration. We have our consultant in attendance this afternoon from URS, and our Public Works Director, Bruce Harry, are also available to answer any questions. Thank you.
What is the start period of this and the completion? Do we have any dates?
Yeah, once we get the environmental clearance, which would be this document today, and the CE from the categorical exclusion from Caltrans, our next phase would be to request what we call a request for authorization for getting into design. And we hope to do that hopefully within the next few months. We'll be bringing something back to the council on that. We're looking at probably at least 12 months worth of design work. We will be going through Caltrans as well on that. We'll be still working with the Water District. They'll need to see the plans to make sure that they meet all their requirements, to make sure that the storm flows can get underneath the bridge, which we've already shown that they will. And once we complete the design, we're looking at probably 3 months after that to go to bid and then bring something back for award. So we're looking at construction could start probably late 2016, early 2017, and take 18 to 24 months to build.
And how are we going to do traffic flow?
We are planning on keeping the channel open with one lane in each direction at the bottom of the channel, building the bridge in 2 pieces. We'll build the north half of the bridge, then we'll build the south half of the bridge, and then we do a closure pour in the middle to connect the 2 together. So there'll always be traffic that will be able to go through one lane in each direction through the whole project.
What will happen with the, what we call the trails or the bike path? How is that going to interfere with this? Or do we know? Or will it?
Are you talking about the CV Link?
Yeah.
We have shared our plans with CVAG for the CV Link. They have several options where they could use, come across the bridge, they can go under the bridge. They're still looking at how they will make their connection either across or underneath this crossing, but we have shown them our plans and they can work with it one way or the other.
Okay. Thank you.
But are there any unusual circumstances on the connection of the bridge in the Los Cocos area?
No, actually the grade of the intersection of Duval and Frank Sinatra will be slightly raised just because of the need to raise that for the approach to the bridge. The neighbors have been consulted. The closest resident in Los Cocos, it's my understanding, Bruce, and correct me if I'm wrong, the wall, the perimeter wall adjacent to the backyard of that residence would be raised to assist with any sort of noise mitigation or view protection that property owner may need.
Though any of those changes that are being made is the city responsible for the cost of doing those various items?
Yeah, the entire project is based on a percentage. 88.57% of the construction improvements will be paid for by the federal grant. The remaining 11.47% will be split 75% CVAG, 25% city.
Okay. Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions from council? Okay. Any comments or questions from the public? Okay. Seeing none, public comments are closed. Okay. May I have a motion?
Open the public hearing.
Oh, public hearing now open. If anyone wishes to speak, please come forward.
Mayor Smotrich, City Council, City staff. Thank you. My name is Ken Burdett. I am the president of the Los Cocos Homeowners Association, and I did turn in a sheet to be able to talk with you. I'll just take a couple of moments. And I do appreciate, I want to tell you, I really appreciate Bruce Harry. He has done a great job of communicating with us, came over and met with us. I do happen to live right on that corner of Duval and Frank Sinatra. So we have a beautiful community, and we want to keep it that way, and we think that we can. We've sat down and met with Bruce, and he's shown us the preliminary thoughts on it. The main concerns we have are noise, visual, and what's going to happen during construction. The noise issue is probably the biggest. It could have the biggest impact on anybody that lives on the Frank Sinatra side of the complex or on the Duval, especially on that corner, but literally going all the way down to the gate. We think that those can be done, and we just want to be a part of that. We want to be help contribute to that, and any thoughts on that as those noise mitigations are taken care of. It looks like they could raise that wall, which would help us a great deal, and that we could also do that without having any visual impact. Certainly the roadway is going to raise, and we think that that could have a potential to create a change in what is currently the noise level there. But we think that can be mitigated. And so I just hope that the City Council will keep that in mind when we're doing this, and please work with Los Cocos. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burdett. Any comments from council or Bruce?
You want to close public hearing?
Okay. Any other speakers from the public wishing to say a few words on this item? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
The only question I have is the amount and height change at the area we're just talking about in Los Cocos.
The wall height?
Yeah.
It's my understanding that the increase in the height of the wall is going to be a part of the bridge design project, but it also is an aesthetic issue and noise issue. I understand Bruce has been working with the property owners and the homeowners association, but it will be a part of the actual design of the project.
Do we know approximately how much change that's going to be?
I think it might be, is it 6 to 8 feet, I think, is the road is having to go up. We're having to increase the wall. Part of it's going to be retaining, and then we'll have a new garden wall on the top. And then on the inside of the project is some landscape material, which we will make sure that that is reestablished. Right now, the hedge is actually pretty tall on the inside, but my plan is to work directly with the Homeowners Association on the design of the wall, the landscaping, make sure that all the materials, we'll make sure that everyone sees the heights. We want to be completely transparent on this and make sure that the HOA is in favor of what we're doing out there, and we can do that by working with them directly on the design.
Good.
Okay. Any further comments from council?
Nothing.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I'd like to move that the City Council approve environmental assessment case number EA 150001, which analyzed the environmental impacts associated with the Frank Sinatra Drive Whitewater River Crossing project.
okay. And I will second that. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming to visit us. Okay. Moving on to the next item, which is Steve Quintanilla, I believe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The council at this point is going to recess into closed session to confer with legal counsel regarding the existing litigation known as Veronica Juarez versus City of Rancho Mirage. That's pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9. Council will also consider one potential litigation item under the same code section, and the council will consider the public employee performance evaluation of both its city clerk and city manager and confer with its labor negotiators regarding both those positions pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think we're finished for the day, so we look forward to seeing you at our next council meeting, and have a wonderful evening. Meeting now adjourned.